know the music, now meet the man.
That is the song Line Upon Line from Saturday's Warrior, the motion picture.
But long before the motion picture, the play, and the most celebrated Mormon musical in the history of Mormonism, a young Lex de Azevedo started playing the piano.
Well, I have the dubious honor of being maybe the first Latter-day Saint to be born in Hollywood Presbyterian Hospital in Hollywood, California, and that's where I grew up until I was about 5, and then we moved back to New Jersey. My father worked in Manhattan, and my father died when I was 10, and we moved back to Los Angeles. On my father's side, they're Brazilian. My mother's side, they're Parley P. Pratt is my great-great-grandfather on my mother's side.
Lex got a lot of his musical ability from his mother, Alice King, one of the famous King sisters, singing here on a television special in 1964 called The Family is King.
Somewhere there's another heart to warm a heart that's cold. Someone's hand is waiting for a lonely hand to hold. Every dreamer has a dream that one day may come true. Everyone has found it so, and someday so will you. Everybody loves somebody sometime. Everybody falls in love a while. Something in your kiss just told me my sometime is now. Everybody finds somebody someday. There's no telling where love may appear. Something in my heart keeps saying my someday is here. If I had it in my power, I'd arrange for every boy to have your charms. Then, every minute, every hour, every girl would find what I found in your arms. Everybody loves somebody sometime. And although my dream was overdue, your love made it well worth waiting for someone like you. Everybody loves somebody sometime. And although my dream was overdue, your love made it well worth waiting for someone like you. Everybody loves somebody sometime. 'Cause you're nobody till somebody like you. Got nobody. If a body meets a body coming through the ride, you gotta say you got somebody. Goodbye.
One more time, Mom.
Everybody loves somebody sometime. So find yourself somebody to
De Azevedo's uncle was the president of Columbia Records, and the family fame brought a lot of celebrities to his home.
Our world was not just an LDS world. It was about 80% just my mother's friends in Hollywood, music people, singers, arrangers, a lot of well-known people. I mean, Nat King Cole and Sinatra and Dean Martin, and to name a few of the more famous ones, were in our home.
Growing up in this environment seemed normal to Lex, eating with future music legends, singing Christmas carols with Hollywood's elite, and palling around with executives at Columbia Records.
I mean, it was no big deal. It was just my mother's friends.
Lex soon went beyond performing and began composing. He arranged this version of Yesterday that his mother and aunts performed in their variety show in 1966.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I am not the way I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why he had to go, I don't know. He wouldn't say. I said something wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Love was such an easy game. Yesterday, now I need a place to hide away. Remember
But with a musical career at his footsteps, Lex de Azevedo went on an LDS mission, what many saw as an unusual choice.
Well, I've told the story many times in my dream. You probably heard that, but I dreamed. A bishop told me to pray about it, about going on a mission. And one night I had a dream, and it was in the hereafter. And I looked up into the celestial kingdom, and I saw my Steinway grand piano. And I say I looked up because my Steinway had fulfilled the measure of its creation, was worthy of a far greater glory in the celestial kingdom, but I was not. And somehow the idea came to me that there's more to life than just this life. And I looked at my dad who died young, and Mozart died young, and all these people. What guarantee would there be that I could fulfill my career aspirations in this life? There was no guarantee at all. But that if I did what the Lord wanted me to do, the idea came through to me that I would have the eternities to do my music, and I decided to go on a mission.
After 2 years in Brazil, he came back to Hollywood and got a job as a producer at Capitol Records.
And the first Sunday I come home from my mission, he says, "Lex, how would you like to be a producer at Capitol Records?" And I said, "Yeah." And so I was hired at Capitol. I had an office on the top floor of that round tower there at Hollywood and Vine, producing records, and that was the late 60s.
During this time, he worked with another up-and-coming musical family.
Hello. Hello to you. Hello.
good cheer with songs and lots of fun. Sit back, relax, and listen while we sing for you. We're the Osmond Brothers Quartet. We love to sing, you bet. So hello to everyone. Hi there.
I'm Alan.
I'm Wayne. I'm Meryl. I'm Jay, and I'm 6 years old. I'm 8. I'm 10.
I'm 12 years old, and I'm the bass.
I'm the baritone. I'm the tenor. I'm the lead.
We're side by
Side by side. Now we ain't got a barrel of money. Maybe we're ragged and funny, but travel along, singing a song side by side.
He also began working with another family of musicians.
The Jackson 5.
At the time, I don't think it was known that his father was as abusive as he was. And we knew at the time that his father was giving him female hormones to keep his voice from changing, descending, keep him up the high, because he was the money for the Jackson 5. And so, yeah, we knew about that. And I think that has since come out. But I thought he was a very, very, very nice boy. He was, I'm trying to think, it was before he became Michael Jackson. It was Michael in the Jackson 5 back then. He was really a nice kid. He was very, very nice to me. And we talked about music, we talked about religion. They were Jehovah's Witnesses, and they knew I was a Mormon. And we had some very friendly interchanges about that. He used to kid me, though. He'd say, I used to like to play gospel piano for him, do some things, and he'd say, "Oh, Mormon, man, you got soul for a Mormon." That's awesome. I liked him.
During this time, de Azevedo scored the film Where the Red Fern Grows and later scored The Swan Princess, and enjoyed the celebrity that came with being in the center of America's music industry.
You know, over the years, I guess our family's had as much, if not more, to be thankful for than almost any family I know. And yet, our blessings seemingly continue to abound, for which we're all most grateful. In fact, right now, we thought we might briefly bring you up to date on what's been happening with the King family. First of all, Vonnie's daughter Kathy recently became Mrs. James Green. Marilyn and Kent Larson have a beautiful new daughter by the name of Jennifer. Louise and Alvino Ray celebrated their 30th wedding anniversary. Donna and Jim Conkling became grandparents for the second time. And thanks to our son Lex and his lovely wife Linda, Alice and I just became grandparents for the first time. Right, Grandma?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes in the morning, when shadows are deep, I lie here beside you, just watching you sleep. And sometimes I whisper what I'm thinking of. My cup runneth over with love. Sometimes in the evening, when you do not sing, I study the small things you do constantly. I memorize moments that I'm fondest of. My cup runneth over with love. We won't even notice the world turning cold. And so in this moment of sunlight above, my cup runneth over with love. And so in this moment, with sunlight above, my God runneth over with love.
But it was a play he wrote for his LDS ward that shot him to rock star status in the Mormon culture.
Wow. When I wrote those chords in 1974, I had no idea the impact that Saturday's Warrior would have on the world. The casts played to sold-out houses night after night, year after year. As a matter of fact, in Phoenix, we sold more tickets to Saturday's Warrior in 2 hours than they sold to Elton John in 2 weeks. I think the story and the songs struck a chord with people. Actually, more than that, it filled a need.
The play, Saturday's Warrior, debuted on stage at Brigham Young University in 1973 with poor reviews. So de Azevedo took it back to his home in Southern California and cast it with the people he knew.
We're at the home of the Larry King of CNN fame and his wife, Shawn Ingeman King. Shawnee Ingeman for many years was our neighbor, and in 1974 I cast her in the role of Pam in the original California production of Saturday's Warrior.
You're throwing me out, aren't you?
Yes, for Saturday's Warrior.
I am the master of this house. I rule with an iron fist.
So we see.
We'll see you later there.
When I decided to put this show together in California, we did not audition people, we just drafted people.
Oh.
And the first call I made, I called the Ingeman family. And her dad, Carl, was the Flinders father, right?
He was the Flinders father, yes. And my mom was the Flinders mother.
So Shawnee, we asked her to be, what's her name?
Pam.
Pam. And her brother, Paul, to be Mac. And your sister, she played which member of the family?
She was Alice.
Alice, right. How old were you?
Lex, I can't even believe that you trusted me with this part.
You were like 12 or something.
I was 13. And Pam was, the character was 19. And you know, it was so funny because Don Webb, who was directing
the director,
this,
yeah,
flipped out when she realized that she had a 13-year-old playing the part of this very mature, wise 19-year-old.
So how did this impact your life when you were 13 years old?
I didn't realize, none of us realized what it was going to be. After the very first show, the emotion that we all felt was so deep and so powerful that this wasn't just going to be a steak production. This was something so much bigger.
Do you remember any of the music?
I remember all of the music.
You do?
Of course.
Because I don't.
You don't?
No, I can't.
You want me to teach you a few of those songs, Lex? Where do we start?
Let's sing a little bit of Line Upon Line.
Okay.
If I can remember it. Okay.
Well, do your best, Lex.
Okay.
Like a summer shower, giving us each hour his wisdom. If we are patient, we shall see how the pieces fit together in harmony.
That was bad.
We know who we are in this big universe, and then we'll live with him forever.
But until it happens. John, that makes me cry.
The cast did performances all over Southern California to packed steak centers.
Our steak in Chatsworth, California, put on the show, and that became the definitive version of Saturday's Warrior with a big choir and all that. So the stake was going to put it on for 2 weekends. And then we're inundated with calls from people coming from San Diego, Bakersfield, all over, even as far as Sacramento. They were going to come down and wanted to bring buses of people to see the show. And so finally, after about 3 or 4 weeks, stake president comes to me and he says, "Hey, I'm running a stake here, not a Broadway production company. This is going to have to stop. I hate to do this, but we can't keep doing this."
But the genie was already out of the bottle, and the play became a must-do, and the soundtrack echoed in every good LDS home. De Azevedo thinks it's because the Mormon audience can relate to the characters and see them reflected in their own lives.
Our lead character, Jimmy, is becoming more rebellious. It takes place in the 70s. He's in a rock group, and he's challenging all of his family's beliefs and their life. And his twin sister is singing to him this song line upon line and telling Jimmy that, look, Jimmy, don't throw it all away just because you don't understand it all yet. So we're going to play you the music video for this.
Line upon line, precept on precept, that is how he lifts us, that is how he teaches his children.
Line upon line upon line upon line upon
line upon line, precept on precept.
These scenes from the recent motion picture came out in 2016 in theaters along Utah's Wasatch Front.
What's happening? Hey, you're just in time to help your mom set the table.
Hey, boys.
You still live here? Alice!
Jimmy,
Yeah.
can you set the glasses?
Hey, Pam.
Hey, you famous yet?
What do you mean, yeah?
Don't forget your biggest fan. Dinner's ready.
What is that sound? Rising up from the world. The sound of a clock ticking on. I just wish they would enjoy life more.
This family is their life.
Line upon line, precept on precept. The circle of our love extends beyond the reach of time.
We are not the ordinary, fearlessly extraordinary. What do you do if there comes a day when I lose my way? What do you do?
There's more to life than just this life.
You don't know that for sure. There's got to be more to this life. There's got to be more than just what we see.
You're in the middle of a miracle that's right in front of your face.
Maybe freedom is knowing who you are.
It was inspiring, faith promoting. It was amazing.
And a little tear jerky.
Yes.
I loved the whole thing. I cried the whole time.
So it was wonderful. I loved it and totally recommend it.
De Azevedo thinks they did the best they could with the low budget for the film, but thinks it opens up the music he wrote more than 40 years ago to a new audience.
So we decided to make what I thought would be a theatrical adaptation of the play, and that's what we did, and that's what we tried to keep the bones of Saturday's Warrior, but adapt it and put it in the 70s. And Jimmy Flinders you didn't really know much about him in the play. He was just a guy, a young LDS boy with some issues, you know, kind of trying to choose between Pierre and his family. But here you see that he's a very talented, gifted singer-songwriter, kind of like Jim Morrison of the Doors, kind of tormented, and becomes a huge star. And therein is the conflict with him and his family. And I was pleased with the way the film came off. I thought another $1 million, we could have made something really amazing. But given the constraints that an LDS film, financial constraints that an LDS film has, I felt really good about it, and we just ran it in theaters along the Wasatch Front, but now it's available on Amazon, iTunes, and digital downloads and things.
Unlike the launch in the 1970s, promoting today's Saturday's Warrior involved connecting with people over social media.
Hi, this is Jen Suttner, head of the Azevedo Facebook page for Saturday's Warrior 2016.
The motion picture.
The motion picture.
Yes.
I'm here with my uncle Lex, who wrote all of the music for it, and we're discussing some of the music from the film. Right now, we're going to talk about Sailing On.
Sailing On.
Yes.
Actually, Sailing On is one of my favorite pieces from Saturday's Warrior.
Makes me cry.
It's so moving. And the lead character, Jimmy, he sings this as he's about to be born. And he has premonitions that this life isn't going to go that well.
Right. It's a little bit scary.
Yeah, things aren't going to go the way he had hoped. But it's a wonderful performance as he's walking down this hall, in preparation to be born, and at the very end there's this flash of light, and then we get that he is born. Yeah. I think what was fun for me to be able to do this song for the first time with orchestra. We didn't have orchestra in the live play. Right. So we're going to post the music video.
We are, right now.
And maybe an MP3. And folks, do yourself a favor, put on a nice pair of headsets or something. Don't listen to it on your tiny little computer
Listen
speaker.
to it for real.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna miss this beautiful place.
So many friends and memories. It's hard to believe they'll all be forgotten.
It's time. Come on, Jimmy.
What is that sound rising up from the world? The sound of a clock ticking on, with hours and minutes I've yet to meet in a life that soon will be gone. Soon will be gone. Soon will be gone. Ooh. What is that sound rising up from the world? The swell of the tide at the gate, where children set sail without knowing too well that the time is growing late, growing late, growing late. Whoa. I'm sailing on, I'm not a stranger. My faith will ride through wind and tide and stormy sea. Yeah, I'm sailing on out of the harbor. There is a distant land that lights the way for me. I hope they hold it high so I can see. I'm sailing on. I'm sailing on. I'm sailing on. I'm sailing on. Sailing on. I'm sailing on.
Now in his late 70s, de Azevedo lives in St. George, but spends a lot of his time in his Midvale studio doing what he always loved doing. New music for what he hopes is a new generation looking for inspiration. A lifetime of music, a lifetime of composition, and a lifetime sharing his talent with the people he loves.